Right, good evening, welcome along to the club. It is a Wednesday night. We've dumped the Tuesday part because we're never on Tuesday anymore. And in tonight we're going to be talking about, we're only coming on Periscope for 20 minutes because you know what, to be fair, you get way too much of this shit for free. So we're only doing 20 minutes tonight, and if you want to hear what's going on, we're going to be on YouTube and we're going to be on the podcast, right? And so that's where you go. Listen, Gav, will you put the bleeding my earphones down? I'm sick of this already. This is an absolute shit show. This is why we're only doing 20 minutes because the professionality is a load of manure. Anyway, the club is brought to you in association with RedsBet, and RedsBet are a betting site tailor-made for Liverpool supporters. RedsBet aims to share half their net profits with Liverpool supporters. Definitely worth it. And fan causes, so no matter what, the fan ends up a winner. Check out the odds on redsbet.com or download the RedsBet app. Share the glory and gamble responsibly. And hopefully Stephen may tell me later on that we do have some bets that will stick in the podcast that you need to subscribe to as soon as possible. And also the YouTube site, which you need to subscribe to if you want to see all of the show, because you're not going to get it all on Periscope, so stick that in your lads. Anyway, good in tonight. I've got Gareth Brains. The first time he's been in a while.
Hey, Gar.
You're looking terrible, Gar. You can explain to what's going on in your life in a few minutes. Beside him, we've got Ray Dickinson.
All right.
Good to have you in, Ray. And of course, Stephen Daly. Nice to have you on this side of the table.
Evening.
Because your production skills was fucking atrocious.
That was the best produced show ever on fucking Sunday night.
In fairness, it
absolute
was,
fact.
It was close to being the worst until Gav started waving his earphones in front of the camera just for 2 seconds.
Not true.
So,
it was superb. The camera cuts were unreal.
The zooming in and
unreal.
If I had a bit more time to be here and I wasn't doing the normal live stuff, we would have had a fancy theme tune to go into the next section, which of course is the news roundup, which is brand new, and I just made it up before I came in, so
I think that's more so why we don't have a theme tune to go into.
No, I had a tune, I was listening to it in the car and I said, right, I've got a tune, let's do this tune.
Here's a question: why can we not play 50 Cent The Club as our theme tune for the pod because of music rights, yet we can play whatever song you had in your mind?
Why?
Just out of interest.
Because I was
going
to make the song,
right,
and then bring it in.
Were you going to sing it?
Yeah.
Are you going to sing it for us?
But like in beatbox and stuff.
Lovely. If you send it on to me, I'll make it for you. And
we've been trying to figure out how we're going to get the random wheel of funny involved more, because like it is a fantastic piece of thing, right? So what this is now is to figure out what's going on in the news on Liverpool way during the week. We put all the things that have happened, and we'll pick one subject at random. A subject at random, and we will discuss this random subject in the news. So let's go with the wheel.
No slowing it down now.
Okay.
Right? It has to be fucking
genuine.
You're a ball bag, and then you just stop it on whatever you want. Yes.
One thing go with that.
Demarai. The news broke today that supposedly we're in talks to sign Demarai. Now, of course, this goes with one of the what goes along with all these signings that we're making. So it was
Are you okay?
Rabiot?
Are you all right?
Rabiot.
Yeah.
Rabiot direct.
Yeah.
Rabiot direct
Yeah.
from PSG. But it is Rabiot, and it is Demarai now, the creative playmaking midfielder from Hoffenheim. Stephen, would he fit the bill?
Don't know.
Do you know?
No clue.
Don't know much about him?
No. No, it's all.
Okay,
And it's
Ray.
all bollocks anyway.
Right.
I know less than Steve, I would say.
All right.
It's not even about whether you know anything
So
about
do you
him
want
or
to just
not,
make it up?
but- No, but
Just make it up.
It's not about whether you
Hang
know
on.
anything.
You said you don't know anything.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
I'm
coming
going to
back
jump
to
in
you.
anyway. It's not like I listen
Well,
to
I tell you
anyway.
what, whilst I'm doing it, you get onto transfer market there, find out where he plays.
I know, I'll find you 4 players that could be better than
Comparable
him.
players, and you can say that they're the ones that we should be signing
That's
instead.
who I... Just sign fucking Fecker.
No, he's on the board. You can't.
but I don't
Don't
care.
jump ahead. He's there. He's there.
He
Look,
is
we'll
there.
be talking about him in a second.
Sign him.
Listen, you either play the game or else you get a penalty. Now,
What's
Garbrain, you're a coach.
penalty.
That's why you're wearing in your sports gear tonight. So, in fairness, do you know much about Demarai? Because you do a bit of travelling around Europe to watch the coaching sessions and stuff.
Yeah, with Sam, my young fella, we've gone to Germany once, in fairness. I think the Demarai link is because he can play in a 3 or 4 different positions, as we all know Klopp loves that in a player. And I think that's exactly why, because Fekir is 2 or 3, but this lad can play anywhere in midfield and obviously in the attacking too as well. So I'd say that's possibly why the link is quite strong at the moment, in fairness.
Right. It was there last year as well.
Yeah. It's a bit stronger this time around, the home fairness. So.
It's not that it's just the international week and there's not much to talk about.
No, 3 people made it. 3 people made it up this time, but only 2 people made it up last year. So
Because I saw somebody else say that Rabiot is definitely going to be starting the midfield when he signs in January.
definitely, even though he's never coming.
Like Fabinho.
Yep, Fabinho and Keita and Rabiot will be the midfield from January 1st.
In fairness, that's a nice midfield, but that's neither here nor there. It's not going to happen.
If they perform to their abilities. Right, next goal.
Well, to be fair to Fabinho, he has to be given some game time.
So on the transfer razor, which I'll bring in next week, I'm putting that at 53 out of 1,000.
No slowing it down. See, it slows down very quickly itself. No.
Moreno tapped. Now that could mean
He
anything,
fucking
right?
is tapped,
So-
you're dead
Tapped
right.
for a long while.
He's absolutely
So
tapped.
allegedly, Alberto Moreno is being eyed up by Barcelona of all teams
Wow.
to come and sort out their left back position.
Yeah.
Stephen, do you think this would be a good sign for Barcelona?
Actually, you know what? He's going to be a backup left back for them. And with the amount of dominance they have in most matches, I don't think he'd actually be under as much pressure as he is in the Premiership. So it makes sense. He's a homegrown player for them. He's probably available at a reasonable price if we sign someone or if we've someone coming through, because I don't see him breaking into the team. Yeah, I can understand it. And Barcelona have a history of signing slightly mad players. They signed fucking Thomas Vermaelen off Arsenal when he played 2 games in 8 years or something before he signed for them. So they do have a habit of picking up these players that they just see as a squad filler, and the sort of fella that'll come in for Copa del Rey games and whatever else. They got rid of fucking Lucas Digne, didn't they, to Everton? So
They have plenty of rotation possibilities
Yeah.
throughout their
Yeah.
season. Obviously, they got to prioritise the big La Liga games and the Champions League games, and they play
And they're
plenty
so
of
strong.
dross.
They're so strong in attack that when
Yeah.
they play the dross,
Yeah.
they can put the likes of him in and give a proper left back a rest. And here comes Phil pretending to not be leaving the host seat, but actually leaving the host seat.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
Just keep talking away there.
Yes. No problem. What's that? What?
Nothing, I just
Yeah, all right, yeah, they're definitely not going to see that. That you could have just said, Gar, could you move your microphone a little bit, please?
Distinct lack of trust there. Phil.
It's not like him to be a control freak, in fairness. But
Not
that's
at all.
cool. Not at all. Yes, sorry.
In fairness, though, the intensity of the Spanish league, he's not going to get caught out as much as he is in the Premiership, where teams will push high, they'll go in behind him all the time. He'll get a bit more. It'll be a bit more relaxed from home.
I agree.
Whereas in Premiership, he's like a dog with 2 Mickeys. He doesn't know where he's going, left, right, or centre at times.
Yeah.
It'll be much more relaxed. And he'll probably look a lot better over
Probably
there.
will, yeah.
But I'm devastated to hear that he's gone. I can't believe the club aren't going to hold on to him.
His haircut
Well,
is
it's like a mascot
outrageously
of some
good.
sort.
No,
He
just
keeps
like
Bobby,
I-
he keeps
promotional
Bobby Firmino
videos.
happy.
I think we need to play it up because the likelihood is if we're not giving out about him going to Barcelona, they'll start questioning, hang on a second, this isn't like when we signed Suarez.
Why are they not on to FIFA getting fucking petitions?
Why are they claiming that this is disgrace and he's being tapped up for Youngs?
Yeah. Well, I tell
So,
you what is happening. You can see the Bobby tapping up. Oh, sorry. We'll
on the
spin
up-
that. Let me
yeah.
just.
So
Yeah,
moving
you
on.
know what's disgraceful?
Firmino tapped.
Yeah.
Now, this one I got off a good source in Spain before it even broke in the newspapers yesterday.
Oh, really?
Obviously, because it was a news report and that's how we got it. But at the same time, we've been what's been put out there on the Barcelona side is that Barca have identified Firmino as the Suarez replacement, and that's
Okay.
how they plan to get. Now, what they haven't made clear yet is if they plan to get him go from in the winter time or next summer, or is it the year after that, or whatever it is. But he is heavily looked upon as the player to replace.
There's no
Luis
one going in
Suarez.
the winter time.
I can't see it.
It's
I
not.
can't see it.
It's just not happening. I am absolutely certain that we're not losing any player we don't want to lose this winter. It's that simple.
Gav loves that shout
What?
because we've no precedent
You've
for
really
it.
wanted to win, though.
What?
Like last winter.
Yeah, don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. We're not losing. That we knew
down the
could.
back of the couch.
It's the
Coinage.
Listen,
Coinage.
Coutinho wanted out, and it was obvious for a year and a half he wanted out. Firmino hasn't given a single hint that he wants away from the club. That's not saying he'll never leave the club, but I'm saying he's not leaving.
Can I put it to you? I'll actually put it to Ray. Right, as much as Stephen says that, did you see on Snapchat today that Coutinho was sitting beside Firmino
Was he?
and
Yeah.
giving it the big thumbs up?
Oh my God, two friends giving.
Now,
Two friends
and the reason
on
why
international
the-
duty.
I'm blown away by this
Hang on.
revelation. I'm blown away by this.
The reason why I say this is think about it.
When you say
Think
that
about
way.
it. Firmino tapped up Alisson in the summer
Yeah,
because he was sitting on the plane
And
with
Fabinho.
Alisson, and Fabinho didn't go to the World Cup.
yeah, and but
So
they sat beside each
they
other
didn't
in
need to
Burger
tap
King.
him up. Monaco were like, "Oh, don't take it." Monaco were doing a Moreno with Fabinho for fuck's sake. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, don't
Yeah,
take it."
but in
please
March,
don't."
Fabinho and Firmino had a McDonald's together,
Yeah.
and they sat there and they gave a thumbs up with their two Happy Meals.
Was
and
for
then
me
he
was
signed.
that meal in Blackpool?
No,
Well, then it's not real.
it was in Monte Carlo.
What?
Yeah,
Did I have McDonald's? Gar, a question one of the lads here put around somebody there. Would you take Suarez as part of a deal that saw Firmino go to Barcelona?
No. No, it's pure fact. He hasn't got that intensity in his game that he had when he was with us at the time. No, I wouldn't. Be honest with you. Okay. Straight out, no.
I think that's a no.
Would you take Messi as part of the thing?
No, he's on the
He's on the wane. What age is Messi now?
21.
Is he? And what age is Suarez? 31 as well?
30. No.
30.
He's probably slightly older than 31, isn't he?
Is he? I thought, well, how long has he gone from us? Was he not 27, 28 when he left us?
27, was he?
Yeah, I thought he was 27.
I
just
literally
gone
can't.
28.
If it wasn't happening this season, may as just put it off. And it'll come
I
back to
suppose
me
he's
in about
gone
6 years'
4
time.
years. He's gone 4 years. You forget that. Yeah. So yeah, he probably is 31.
It's grand though, lads. You have Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
Harry
Let him
Wilson. Yeah.
Just let him go. It's grand.
Yeah.
Why is Harry Wilson not on that board?
Mainly because it's the most
name.
overrated free kick I've ever seen in my life.
I
And
don't
it's-
mind the free kick. His free kick for Derby against Man United wasn't
Yeah, right.
overrated.
Would you like to come back in the round to us?
Right, we don't.
Just trying
we
to
don't-
find out the age there. Still didn't manage to find
Just,
it.
if you give a nod to the producer when he's not stuffing his face with a quarter, double,
He'll
half
come up with
pounder,
those facts,
he'll
yeah.
come up with the facts for us. Yeah.
Okay.
27.
There's
27.
one job.
43.
Thank you. That's really clear.
All right. Okay. So we think that Firmino may go. Yes.
No,
But not this summer.
no, I don't think he's going this summer or next summer.
Okay.
Are they just making uppy stories
No.
because there's a lot less things to
course.
report on?
This is
100%.
Lads, do you think-
classic
But
unsettling.
surely these conversations have gone on forever and ever and ever.
The one I really want to get onto, Lovren, is allegedly a target for Barcelona.
Give them two for the price of one.
Is there? That's what I'm going to ask you. If they wanted Moreno, would you
Package
insist
deal.
that Lovren had to go as well?
Of course not.
Or vice versa. Package them up.
Absolutely not.
No,
Who are you going to have as his replacement?
Matip.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, that's a solid idea. That's like saying fucking get rid of Moreno and let's get Paul Konchesky back. You know what I mean?
Harry Wilson.
No, it's epoxy. It's a epoxy idea. Lovren is the third best centre half, or he's probably the second best centre half at the club over a period of time. Joe Gomez is having a great spell, but he's still very young. He could have a slump. It could take one bad game for him to have a dip. And same with Lovren. I get that, but he's still a very, very competent top end Premiership defender, and I wouldn't want him going anywhere.
Okay, that's all I want to do. Right, let's rock and roll with the wheel of fun. I hope we don't get something that we've already talked
Yeah,
about.
you're meant to
repeat.
wipe out the ones that we've already talked about.
Milner's
Milner's
best-
tapped by Barcelona.
Milner, lads. Allegedly in the papers this week. No, Jamie Holm asked earlier on when we were doing the random topics, is because I think he was mainly trying to get a reaction out of me or Paul Brennan, is James Milner the best free signing we've ever had?
Without question.
Better than Gary McAllister for that one
Yes.
season.
Because he's been around for longer than one season.
But McAllister won every trophy going except the Premier League.
Yeah, and I
And the
think
Champions League.
McAllister's age as well.
He
In
won Europe,
fairness, was it 5 years ahead?
Doesn't matter.
In
Like,
fairness.
remember McAllister, everybody lauds the impact McAllister
I
had.
know you don't like winning cups, right? But in fairness, it was success at the time, and it was a really, really, really good free
Shite.
transfer.
Shite.
No,
He's
it
the
was.
second-
No,
Gary
he was
McAllister-
instrumental in
Gary
what we did at
McAllister
the
is
time.
the
definitely.
second best free transfer we've ever had.
Okay, I'll give you that.
To be fair, look at the other ones we've had. They've
Yeah,
been,
they've been nightmare.
absolutely cat piss.
Yeah.
Joe Cole,
Oh my god.
fucking, what's his name? I'll keep on going. What, Varanen was a free, was he? Or the other?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And the other plonker up front.
Maxi Lopez was a freedom.
Nice Lopez free.
Maxi Rodriguez even. Yeah.
Told you, doesn't play anymore.
Actually, Maxi Rodriguez
Was
is have a shout. That'd be your top
Yari
two.
Littmanen, was he a free?
No,
Yeah, but like
was
that should have been our greatest free signing ever.
he? Man,
But
what a waste.
Ken got to
Let's
fall
not-
back to
let's not
Houllier.
go back
Hey.
there. Anyway,
Um,
in my opinion, Milner, without question, our best free.
I think
transfer.
Jamie's probably looking for an answer at me. Now, I'll give you a fair answer, Jamie. I having watched everything that's panned out and looking at the way Milner has adapted to the way Klopp has him playing. I said it last night. I think that he's become elite level European in midfield for a fella who's at 33 years of age, and he's putting in an incredible shift in the role that he's been asked to play in. And yeah, I can't think of a better free signing that we've had. And all the bollocks that went on about his wages and stuff, I didn't buy into the bollocks about the wages and stuff at the time. My issue was I didn't know where he was going to fit, and he was never a centre midfielder. In this Klopp midfield, he fits brilliantly in there. He brings an energy and an ability to play anywhere across that midfield, and I've no issues with him starting.
And that near whole season playing left back as well.
Yeah.
He was immense that season. You
So
know?
it's just the professionalism and the diversity he gives you in the squad, but
And
it's also just him as a person around the squad. He has seen it all, he's been through it all, and that has to rub off on a lot.
Has
of
to.
the other
I mean,
I
he looks
also
after himself, doesn't he? That's part of
absolutely.
his. That's part of his ingredients of his success, and that's got to be rubbing off on the younger players.
And leading on from that, Milner and Froome. Now, not that I'm hinting at anything here, but James Milner's had a miraculous recovery over the international break from a severed hamstring and no groin muscles and an amputated leg. And he's fit to play this weekend. Now, that's a great thing for us. Do we think he might have gone for a weekend away in Manchester?
Just up to the velodrome. just staying up in the hotel velodrome for a few days. I'm feeling much better after that rest.
Visiting some of his former mates, you know, just sort of.
I heard he dropped in to see Dr. Salbutamol.
I am not for a moment suggesting. No, listen, fair play. He's been absolutely excellent, and the sooner he's back, the better for the squad. So, and you know what? It's probably not a bad thing that maybe. Well, I suppose it wasn't going to be a bad thing that Keita was probably going to get a couple of games. Now with his injury and international break, that probably fucks it up a little bit. So
The thing you would say about Milner is he's not the player who down the years has been ravaged by injury. So his body is in reasonable shape to make those recoveries from the injuries that he's picking up. So you know, he's
to the best of my knowledge, he never got an injury like.
He's not a Lallana or a
Owen,
Sturridge or
you know what I mean?
or something that really brought him down
Similar
a
with
level.
Giggs.
Yeah,
Giggs
He's
never
the
really-
lowest fat percentage in Liverpool squad, doesn't he?
Does he?
Live, yeah.
It's all skeleton.
I believe it.
Yeah, and
It's all the
the
jaw.
best running stats in pre-season.
It's all jaw.
I'd seen that.
He has arguably the largest jaw.
17% jaw.
I want to talk about, actually, before we go on
Body jaw index.
the moustache he had at Leeds. There isn't enough spoken about that moustache. He looked like a 29-year-old man from 1987.
Yeah.
And he was only 16 at the time. It's immense. I want him to bring back the tash for his last season at Liverpool.
Maybe he will,
Just
yeah.
going around.
Yeah.
Down by Yorkshire.
Down Pat Farm. So
It'll take him about 4 hours to grow it, I reckon.
Now,
with
back
the amount
then-
of testosterone he has, the
I
big
know,
fucking square-jawed fucker.
especially after his trip to Manchester.
Tell you what,
had to-
what? No.
No. And then moving on from that, then I suppose there was another question that came in from Jamie on the same thing, which was VVD's impact. 25 goals conceded in 37 games since he signed. Is it all down to VVD, or is it a combination of everything?
It can't all be down to him.
Well, my counter argument to this is that after we played Tottenham, we didn't play badly before Van Dijk signed.
Yeah.
And continue that form on since then. I think he's augmented a defence that had sorted out how to play defensively, and he's improved it, and he brings a solidity and a reassurance that wasn't there beforehand. I think mentally he improves us purely because we're not afraid of having to defend now at this stage. Similar to the way Alisson in goal mentally improves us defensively.
I think we'll get to see, won't we? Because he's going to be missing for the next 6 games, so we'll get to see. We'll get to see.
What did you say he's going to be what?
Missing for the next 6
games.
Ray and the TK.
Yeah.
Ray Dicko there. Ray has an inside line to the club via Dr. Salbutamol.
I think there's an element of what you're saying there in terms of the club had sorted out some issues. He definitely brings us up a level or two without question. I think he adds a layer of confidence to the players around him, similar to the fact that the way Alisson has come in goal, and you can see that back four are more confident with him behind them, and that comes from the fullbacks maybe being a little bit less nervy, because let's be honest, Matip and Lovren both had a brain fart in them. They did. It's just a fact. And as well as Lovren has played since the turn of the year, let's give him credit. He's been excellent since January, and he's came in against City and he was superb against City as well. But the fact is that they had that little bit of a brain fart in them. I think he eases all of that, and everybody goes up a gear.
If you look, Steve, when Robertson first came into the side, when he came in from Moreno, he was still a bit hesitant to go forward at times. And then obviously Van Dijk came, of course, Christmas time, and Robertson went on
leaps and bounds.
yards, because obviously mentally, as you said, he was comfortable in his own mind. Like, I can go I can make foray forward here all the time, and I know I'm going to have a lot of protection to the left side, or one defensive midfielders will come in and cover me. Whereas before, he was, can I go? A lot of hesitancy,
and that's what it is as well. It's part of that comes down to Andy Robertson's impact as well in terms of how he has progressed over the course of a season. First 12 or 13 games, he wasn't really involved. He comes in, he settles in, and then it's been a one-way trajectory since he's come into the side.
Okay, look, I do have some serious news to make on the injuries. However, if you're watching, you're going to actually have to subscribe and listen to the podcast to find out what's going on here, because we're going to cut the Periscope feed now. Thanks for watching. The full show will be out later on the week on YouTube, but the podcast will be out later on this evening. So download, listen and share it with your mates. That's what we're here for. This is The Club. Talk to you next week.